Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a lot of bollocks, tabletop gaming in general. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a civilization building game. We're going to be talking about Beyond the Sun. And in this game, you will be researching different technologies and exploring the galaxy, taking over planets, doing loads of other shit that will give you victory points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video, we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, telling you what we do like, we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Beyond the Sun is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you are new here, consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this. Bollocks. So, Beyond the Sun, how'd you play this game? So Beyond the Sun has been described as a tech tree building game. It sort of is, and it sort of isn't. Each player is going to get a player mat. You'll see that there'll be some dice on the player mat that are put into different rows. These dice represent your population, they represent resources, and they represent different strengths of spaceships that you'll be sending out into the galaxy to conquer different planets. So there's only 3 different phases in this game. There is the action phase, there is the production phase, and then finally there is the achievement phase. In the action phase, you'll take your action pawn and you'll move it from where it currently is to another vacant space. At the beginning of the game, there's only going to be some basic spacefaring actions. You can take one of your population cubes from your player mat and you can research a new technology. What you do, you take the population cube, you stick it on the main board next to the technology that you want to research, and you've got to make sure that you meet the prerequisites. This means that you must be able to trace a line back from the technology that you want to research all the way back to a population cube that you placed previously. You can pay 2 ore to research a level 2 technology. There's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And again, you've got to make sure that you meet the requirements, right? So the next basic spacefaring action you could do is you can turn a population into a spaceship. This is optional. And then you can jump 2. What this means, you'll be able to get 2 movement points to move your ships around the colony map, yeah? You can split this up any way you want. One ship moving once and another ship moving once, or you can move a ship 2. If at the end of the movement you control the planet, which means that you have the most power on that planet, then you'll stick a cube on one of the resources and this will increase your production, and you probably get victory points for doing this and all, right? And you can take a resource cube, turn it into a population and gain 1 ore, right? As the game progresses, you will be revealing even more basic spacefaring actions. For instance, you've got the terraforming guild, which means you can pay 4 ore plus 1 population to settle, and when you settle, you have to make sure that you've got the majority of power on the planet that you want to settle. You'll take the card, put it in front of you, and you'll get the colony bonus and a bunch of victory points, and you will expel all the other ships that are on that planet, including your own, into the nether regions of deep space, right? It's probably because they left the bog seat up, innit? You've got the Professor's Guild. You can spend 4 ore in a population to research a level 3 technology, or you could do the Meta Science Guild where you can spend 6 ore plus 2 population to research a level 4 technology. Level 4 technologies generally give you end of game scoring points at the end of the game. It would be at the beginning of the game, was it, you fucking fuckwit? So if you research a level 2, level 3, level 4 technology, you'll see there is an event card there. The player that is the first to research the technology gets to resolve the event. These are more often than not decent things that happen. For instance, you might end up with extra achievements that you can take, or you might gain resources, or you might have to make a choice. For instance, if you get the March of Progress, you can choose a level 1 technology and starting with you, each faction who has not researched it may research it now with 1 resource, right? So once you are done taking your actions, you get to produce. You'll choose one of the 3 different production tracks at the bottom of your board. You might be able to produce population, in which case you'll take the designated number of resource cubes, turn it to the population side and dump it on your player mat, right? You might be able to produce a load of ore. You'll take the corresponding number of ore tokens, or you'll be able to do a resource trade. There's loads of different options here. You can do these as many times as you like, as long as you can afford to do it, right? So then you'll come to the achievement phase. If you can fulfill one of the 4 achievements at the top, or even maybe some others if you've revealed them through events, then you must do so. It's always going to be 2 standard mandatory achievements that are going to be on offer. The others are randomized, and these will give you victory points at the end of the game. So the game will end as soon as 4 achievement discs are on the achievements, right? You'll finish the current round and then you'll play 1 more full round, and then the player with the most victory points will be the winner of Beyond the Sun. So do we like but Beyond the Sun? So the first thing that we like about this game is that it is one of the very few games that we have played that is more or less true to the length that it suggests on the box, right? How long does it say? What does it say on here? It says 100 minutes for 4 players. I don't know, it's a little bit longer than that. The last game we played took about 2 hours or so. So it's roughly within the same ballpark. And you know what it's like when you buy these new games. Like, for instance, we reviewed Last Kingdom a few days ago, and it says on the box that it plays in, I don't know, 30 minutes per player. But that is a complete load of bollocks. It took about 4 hours to play a 5-player game. But with 4 players, it's roughly the same. And your turns go really quickly, right? You've got just enough time to formulate what you want to do next. And then your turn comes around again. You'll move your marker and you'll do what it says on the card that you move it to, yeah? So there's no fucking about. Nobody is going to be contemplating suicide while playing this game because the turns take too long. And there's not really that much analysis paralysis in here, because a lot of the time, even if that does happen, you're just going to have to grab your bollocks and dive in and swim, right? So the second thing that we really like about this is that there is always meaningful choices to be made. You are going to have to plot your way through this, I fucking hate the word tech tree, but you're going to have to plot your way through this game by making sure that you have researched the right technologies that's going to let you progress really quickly. It's very, very tempting to take that direct route through to a level 3 technology, but then you find out that in order to actually research that, you've got to have researched all the technologies around it, because you're going to have to trace your route back, right? So don't get caught with your fucking pants down. Make sure you plan accordingly. It might be the case that you want to get to a lot of less powerful technologies in order to get those wonderful events that are going to be in the game. Or it might be the case you're just going to concentrate on the exploration and rely on the other players wasting their time messing about with the research aspect of the game, right? So there's always meaningful choices to be made in this game. I think most of the time we played this, there was never any time where we didn't really know what we wanted to do, and that's fucking awesome, isn't it? So the next thing that we really like about this game is the variable setup. It's not going to be the case that all the cards are going to be in the game, right? They're going to be different every time. They're going to be in different positions, which means that the route through the building of your civilization is going to be different every time. And even when you're playing a game, it might be the case that the types of technologies that are chosen by the players are going to be different, right? Because a lot of these technologies have 2 different categories. For instance, you might have the quantum data exchange. The first time you go it, you're going to automate 1 ore and gain 2 ore, right? When you automate, it means that you're permanently moving markers up into the top row. These will give you victory points at the end of the game. It basically means you're going to be able to produce more on a permanent basis. And it gives you an action that says copy any research type action, even if you do not have the technology. And that's fucking massive, because a lot of these technologies only have 1 space. And this allows you to go to the same space as somebody else. Or you might have mercenary fleet, which seems like it's a military technology. It says pay ore to colonize. Or you can pay 1 ore and lose a population to turn a population into a level 4 spaceship and then do a jump. That's mental. You might make a beeline directly for the level 4 technologies, and you might have the neo-industrial revolution. The immediate benefit is you get to turn 2 resources into 2 level 3 spaceships, then jump 2. And at the end of the game, you get 1 point for every 2 ore that you have. That is absolutely phenomenal, right? So these cards are not only always variable, but they are always giving you stuff, right? And I defy any of you lot, especially you fuckers at the back, not to like stuff. So what don't we like about Beyond the Sun? So the first thing that we don't like about Beyond the Sun, and I'm a little bit torn by this, but I decided that I didn't like it more than I did like it, right? But that is the brand looking aesthetic of the game. It looks like you have kidnapped this from a bio lab. All the player boards are white, and the main board is just sort of a load of card spaces, isn't it? It seems like it's devoid of any kind of personality whatsoever. You might as well wash yourself in Domestos while you're playing this, isn't you? Because there just doesn't seem to be any kind of life in it. And I suppose that suits the theme of the game, but it's a little bit counterintuitive for me, because when you're dealing with these sort of civilization building games and you've got no representation of people in the game, aside from those little tiny icons on the dice, then there's a little bit of a mismatch, and I just find it a little bit unsettling. So second thing we don't like about this game is that the galaxy map, being a central portion of the game, just isn't imposing enough. You've got this massive grandiose map, you've got these double mounted player boards, and then you've got this little piddly fucking map over here, which is probably the centre point of the game for a lot of players, because whilst you can still win the game by not focusing on that, a lot of people are going to be focusing on that. It just feels like you've got a massive fuck off cruise ship over here, and then you've got a tiny little rowing boat over here. So there's a little bit of a disconnect between what's going on over here and what's going on over there. So the final thing we don't like about Beyond the Sun is that it can be a little bit overwhelming towards the end if you choose to research loads and loads of technologies, and you're going to have to do that, aren't you? Because you're going to need the rewards from the cards. Some games we have played of this have left my brain feeling like I've taken a bit part in the video nasty, the driller killer, and it feels like somebody is trying to clear the earwax out of my ear with a Black & Decker power tool. the saving grace for this is that the turns are quick, and if you do start panicking, thinking that you're taking too long, you're just going to have to make a decision and plonk your action pawn where you see fit. But yeah, it can display the dreaded symptoms of brain ache towards the latter stages if you allow it to. So to summarise, is Beyond the Sun worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say yes, absolutely. Beyond the Sun is a unique board game that takes a seemingly bare bones experience and morphs it into an elaborate civilization building game through clever mechanics and an infinitely variable setup. It may look a bit bland and uninspiring for some, but the sterile veneer hides some rich decision making and difficult choices, all within a 2-hour time frame, right? So yeah, we wholeheartedly recommend Beyond the Sun. It's not a lot of games like it, and it's one that we'll be coming back to again and again and again. So there you go. That is Beyond the Sun. Remember, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next Tuesday.